So it all started when I moved to Japan. It was because of a job opportunity. And then one of the biggest struggles is like when I moved here is when I went out to like the stores or restaurants and nobody's speaking at all. I had no experience in speaking Japanese. I was surprised like not a lot of people speak English here. So that's when I was like really frustrated. If I never knew how to speak about myself, I wouldn't be able to anyone. Waktu no kau fuku. Wafu to no wafu to no kafuku toimachi desu. Kafuku chisai machi desu.
Kafuku.
Wafu.
One more time. Kafuku wa?
Kafuku wa chisai machi desu. スーパーとガソリンスタンドと学校。
ガソリンスタンドと
ガソリンスタンドとスタンドと学校があるだけです。の和風島です。和風島の家福と町です。And then you mentioned how many years you lived there and stuff. I'm like, wow. I would be like, 20 if I was speaking Japanese, but yeah. スーパーとガソリンスタンドと学校があるだけです。
Yeah, you said perfectly. So you just need more training to speak faster, but it's also you already said.
スパートとガソリンスタンドと学校がだけで。
Yeah, but you just need this training. Yes.
It's a tongue twister for me, that part.
スーパーとガソリンスタンドと学校があるだけです。
スパートとガソリンスタンドがあるだけです。
Now you don't need to speak much faster. At least you can speak correctly. It's okay.
So, yeah, it's like because I wasn't failing, it means I'm not trying. But because I met Terumi, I kept failing every week. And I got better as I practiced. 今日は実行司会をしたいと思います。名前はガロカルビンです。ニックネームはカルです。ハワイのワフ島出身です。ワフ島の家福という町です。スーパーとガソリンスタンドと。
So thank you so much for joining me, and finally Calvin-san completed this 30 hours. But so I would like to do the interview with the Chihiro, our coach, and then she was doing the section 3 for 10 hours with Calvin. And then Chihiro-san, I wanted to ask you, so what was your first impression when you met Calvin?
He had just started living in Japan and he has no confidence in speaking Japanese. But I felt that his desire to learn Japanese was very, very strong.
Yeah, I remember actually he just came to Japan and from California, and he's from Hawaii. And then he already liked Japan, but also he said like even he cannot order the food. I don't know what to order. I don't know how to actually say. I cannot buy anything. You know, he was like really just struggling in the everyday life in Japan because he just came to Japan. During these 10 hours of section 3, especially, what he was struggling during this section 3?
He had difficulty with the pronunciation of Japanese, but he said he wanted to speak as fast as Japanese people, but he couldn't. Now, even if he get confused in Japanese conversation, he knows how to carry on the conversation in Japanese, and he's confident in speaking Japanese, and he has a positive mindset about learning Japanese.
So, can you introduce yourself in Japanese?
はい。今日は自己紹介をしたいと思います。名前はガレンです。ニックネームはカルです。ハワイから来ました。カフク出身です。オアフ島のカフクという町です。スーパーとガソリンスタンドと学校があるだけです。でも綺麗なビーチと大自然があります。クロスのビーチが海です。ハワイに来たらハワイの人はなんと家族だと言います。ハワイの人は住んでいるみんなを家族だと思います。でも東京に9ヶ月住んでいます。IT 関係で働いて、データセキュリティエンジニアです。テクノロジーが大好きです。データセキュリティの専門です。日本語が大好きです。日本語をもっと学びたいです。なので、日本語を今勉強しています。日本が大好きです。例えば、富士山に行きたいです。日本の車が大好きです。それから寿司が大好きです。日本人と早く上手に話せるようになりたいです。将来は自分の IT の会社を始めたいです。
すごい。よろしくお願いします。You can say?
よろしくお願いします。
はい、ありがとうございました。すごいですね、カルビンさん。すごい。Pronunciation, you improved a lot. Great. I could hear everything. Very good, very good. You improved your pronunciation. Great. So first of all, I remember when I met you on the phone, that is, you said, I just came to Japan and I'm living in Tokyo. I don't know what to do. I cannot order the food. Like I cannot even answer the phone. And like I remember, like you said, like several things that I just came to Japan and I have no idea what to do. That is like my memory that you sent me on the phone. So can you tell me like how you like came to Japan and that's, you know, the first day or like several first week, how you felt?
So it all started when I moved to Japan. It was because of a job opportunity within the company, and that's when I took it. One of the biggest struggles is like when I moved here is when I went out to like the stores or restaurants and nobody speaks English at all. So that's when I was like really frustrated, and then I had no experience in speaking Japanese.
So you never imagined that the Japanese people can't speak English so much, like especially Tokyo even.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people speak English, but not so much. Being in Japan, I mean, I was surprised like not a lot of people speak English here.
Mm-hmm. And also, Carvin-san, can you tell me, like, people, I think maybe looking at you, like your background. So can you tell me, like, before you coming to Japan, where you from? Yeah, how you actually, before you coming to Japan, can you tell me your experience?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm originally from Hawaii. I'm from a small town in it's called Kahuku. It's, people like to refer as North Shore, and a lot of people go up there, especially tourists. They like to visit the beaches, and then they're also famous for Giovanni shrimp. And I think I mentioned this to you. Giovanni shrimp. It's very popular in Kahuku. It's a long drive, but it's worth it.
So thank you so much. I mean, like, you are from Hawaii, and then you actually grew up in the whole life in Hawaii?
I grew up in Hawaii majority of my life. I used to live in Arizona for a couple of years. I did my my undergrad in IT. And after I finished, I moved back to Hawaii.
I have been to Hawaii once, but I guess there are many Japanese people in Hawaii. So before you start living in Japan, you already know, like, what is Japanese people?
Oh, absolutely. In Hawaii, I mean, you come across a lot of the Japanese tourists, and a lot of them they love Hawaii. But yeah, you'll come across a lot of Japanese tourists, especially in the Waikiki area, and a lot of them love to shop and go to the beach.
Yeah, I see. So you already know Japan, and you already liked Japan, or like you didn't know so much about Japan and you start living, and then like, oh my God, it's very, very different from your expectation or something?
So Japan and Hawaii, I kind of knew what to expect because from a lot of friends and family who's visited Japan, and like the differences when I moved to Japan, they had like one example is like their awesome convenience stores and like vending machines. Japan is like the only country in the world where I would happily take my time to shop in convenience stores. Also, like the cleanliness, like how clean Japan is, like in terms of clean. You'll be left wondering how the Japanese manage to do it, even when rubbish bins are hard to find. And then like most importantly, like the local people are what makes me want to visit Japan again. And there's just something which makes them the politest, courteous, well-mannered people in the world. And it's not a surprise that they're the most approachable group of people whenever you need their help.
So what do you think now you completely finished the master course of level 1? And first of all, like, how you feel now from compared to June to now? What is like the biggest difference about your feeling?
Oh God, the biggest difference was when I first started, when I met you, I knew nothing at all, like how to speak. I didn't know how to pronounce. I was very slow at reading the Romaji, and I still can't read it, but I can now conversate with the natives, and I've met a couple of friends now, so I'm interacting, but mostly talking about myself, because learning the Japanese master course it's taught me, because if I never knew how to speak about myself, I wouldn't be able to anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
I've had instances where, for example, I was at Starbucks and I was trying to order coffee, and I was telling the cashier that I'm sorry, I don't speak English, I'm not from here. But then she responded to me, where are you from, in Japanese, and that's when I was able to at least say Hawaii kara kimashita. So she understood what I meant.
No, that's amazing.
for example, like when I bought a spaghetti at Lawson, they would ask if I wanted this warm, and then I would be like, "Hai, tatamete kudasai," or "Onimasu." I would basically tell them to warm the spaghetti for me.
Wow, that's amazing. 6 months ago, you could do? 6 months ago,
No,
how was it?
Oh God, I would be 6 months ago. I would just be pointing or.
This one. So now you don't feel nervous when you order?
No. Oh, before I used to be discouraged before going into like anywhere, any restaurant, store, or whatever. But now it's like, I walk in with confidence because I know the basic conversation. The conversation that you guys taught me really helped me a lot.
I really, really amazed that you have these 6 months, a lot of progress.
I did, yeah, because when I first started, I only knew one word at a time. Like, of course, arigato was thank you, but like explaining about myself, where I'm from, and about like people in Hawaii, how they think of you as family, and I was able to say that in one sentence. Like, for example, Hawaii ni kitara, Hawaii no hito wa anato kazuko dato omoimasu. Hawaii no wa iro mina o kazuko dato omoimasu.
Can you tell me about the coach who actually take care of you for this entire section 3?
So firstly, Chihiro was the one who coached me. So I wanted to say thank you to her for her efforts and her diligent work. I truly believe she went above and beyond. I highly recommend her for all coaching needs, and I'm convinced that she is caring, responsive, and a dedicated professional.
How you think like the language school, or like here is like we do this coaching? Can you like tell me the most of people, they just go into the class, they learn like apple or banana, post office, to like the Chihiro's coaching. Can you tell me like the difference?
The Japanese course, learning 2 months, actually is really great. It's a program because you know how to speak about yourself, and you go like to like these other courses. I think they probably teach you like the verbs and nouns, and it's harder to learn that way. So my message to everyone is you can achieve what you believe, because I did it and so can you. You just have to put in the time and effort, and if you're not failing, then that means you're not trying.
So Calvin-san, what is your actual next target?
Well, maybe I was looking at taking another course.
Yeah, great.
With you. So maybe it'll probably be a different level at a more.
Yeah.
But I would definitely love to improve more my Japanese conversational skills.
So if you want to change your life with a Japanese speaking skill, seriously, join our master course, 2 months. So you can be ready to communicate with Japanese people after 2 months. So for example, you can maybe make Japanese friends, you can enter the Japanese company, you can try more conversation with Japanese people every day. So that's why your speaking skill grow up every day. So these 2 months, we're gonna make a perfect the foundation of your Japanese speaking skill. Then you can start speaking with Japanese people, real life or social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, or anywhere that you can actually have the chance to speak. So if you really want to change your life seriously with Japanese communication skill, speech skill, presentation skill, for the business, for the private, let's join the master course.